Spoiler alert, yes, it's very long lasting. It smells super luxurious, it smells super expensive, truly stunning perfume. And every time I wore it, I got compliments. This is not a cheap fragrance, but it's worth every single penny. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Giselle, I review perfumes. Welcome and welcome back. I know it's been a minute, I've been on vacation, I just came back. And first of all, I have to apologize because I didn't have time to film beforehand. So I left you guys hanging without anything to watch. But here I am, I just came back as I said, and today I'm going to talk about transitional fragrances from summer to fall. By the way, can you believe that summer is almost over? I cannot believe it. You know what? I've always been a winter type of person. I've always loved winter, but over the years, I live in different places where temperatures were always super duper cold, long winters, and I'm done with the cold weather. So if you can relate to that, you know what I'm talking about. Now, as I said, today I want to share with you guys a few fragrances that I think are perfect for this time of year. So if you want to hear more about them, let's dive in. So the first fragrance I have on my list today is Thé Noir by Le Labo. I adore this fragrance. I think it's perfect for this time of year. Let me test it on the strip here. Oh my god, I love this perfume so much. It's so addictive. This fragrance has, I would say the star of the show here is the fig, at least in the opening. This fragrance is so beautiful. It's so good. This fragrance, guys, opens very smooth but bright at the same time. It's like a fresh, creamy, fruity sweetness. And it comes from the fig. We have a very prominent fig note in the opening. Fig adds a lot of creaminess to fragrances and makes them very smooth. And mind you, fig is one of those notes I can't get along with. I don't like fig in fragrances. I do like fig leaf, but here we have fig, like the fruit. And usually I don't like fig fragrances, fig forward fragrances. This one and a few others I have in my collection are exceptions. In this particular case, I'm loving the fig because it adds a lot of creaminess. It's like a slightly bitter, sweet type of creaminess. It kind of balances any possible excessive sweetness that the fragrance could have, but it's absolutely beautiful. This is actually a very creamy, sweet type of fragrance. It's not creamy like coconut, for example. It's a completely different type of creaminess. It's like a creamy, bitter sweetness type of thing. It's a very rare perfume. It does smell like tea, but not any tea. To me, it smells like oolong tea, which is slightly smoky, and you will get a little bit of that smokiness in the dry down. It's rich, musky, woodsy. It's very leafy. Think about tea leaves instead of the tea bag. It's perfection. It's a day or nighttime type of scent. Very mass appealing, very safe. This is really one of the safest fragrances you can buy, even as a gift. Although this is not like a traditional scent, if you want to buy this as a gift for someone who enjoys clean unisex scents, this one makes for the perfect gift. It's really beautiful, very unique. It lasts about 6 hours on my skin with matte projection. I love it. I think that this is a perfect day-night type of scent. I also think this is like an intimate type of fragrance. After a couple hours, it becomes a skin scent. It sits close to the skin. However, when people come close to you, they'll be able to smell it. It's not the type of scent that blends into your skin to a point that it's not even noticeable. No, it's not that case. People notice this fragrance. I'm always complimented every time I wear it. In fact, I took it to my tropical vacation, and every time I wore it, I got compliments. It seems that sillage, it's very beautiful, very sheer, and it lingers in the air every step of your way. It's a really pretty fragrance. It's also very mysterious. The dry down to me is magical, and it is where you get a little bit of that smokiness, the tea smokiness I was talking about. It's also very velvety, very smooth. very cozy, very enveloping. And although this is a day or nighttime type of scent, I think if you go a little bit extra with the spritzes, it could be the perfect date night scent. And another thing I forgot to mention is that although we have a bright opening, the dry down is rich, it's woodsy, it's smoky. And I think for that reason, it's perfect for this time of year. It's an excellent transitional fragrance. So if you haven't yet, I highly encourage you to try Thé Noir by Le Labo. The next fragrance I want to share with you today is Parisian Musk by Matière Première. Actually, I have a miniature here. I haven't bought a full bottle just yet, but it's a very beautiful scent. Perfect for this time of year. That's why I made it to this list. Let me spray it here. Wow, this fragrance is so stunning. It's also so unique. The only fragrance I can compare this with, and if you know me, I usually don't like to make comparisons because it's something very personal. And as content creators, we have to be careful because if we say this fragrance reminds me of this or that, then people go buy it and then they complain because they say, oh no, I bought this fragrance based on whomever said that and they said it was similar to XYZ and it couldn't be more different. So this is very personal. However, I always like to give you some sort of guidance or point of reference. In this perfume, let me tell you, it reminds me a lot of 𝗏𝗏 by Diptyque. They are incredibly similar. They have subtle differences, but that one is the only fragrance I can compare this with because it's very unique. It's kind of vegetal. It's slightly green. It's very beautiful. It's clean. It's milky. It has a very subtle musky sweetness that makes this fragrance very unique and very cozy. So yeah, it definitely reminds me of 𝗏𝗏. So if you like 𝗏𝗏, you will definitely love Parisian Musk. As I said, there are subtle differences, but they are quite similar, and I would put them in the same category. Both fragrances are very clean. Both are woodsy. I think 𝗏𝗏 is more leafy, while this one is creamier and a little bit more musky. However, both share the beautiful fig leaf note that I was talking about previously. This fragrance, like all Diptyque fragrances, embodies quiet luxury at its best. This, guys, is understated elegance and sophistication in a bottle. You know that I always like to provide some sort of context and imagery because I know that sometimes it's kind of difficult to figure how a fragrance smells through a screen, right? So I would say if pictures had a scent, I'll say that Parisian Musk, to me, smells like being cozy at home next to your fireplace, drinking a cup of tea in a rainy afternoon. That's how this fragrance smells to me. Very beautiful, super cozy, super inviting, very intimate. It's very long lasting, which I'm not surprised about because it has ambroxan and ambroxanite, which are used in perfumery as fixatives, which helps with lasting power and projection. So this fragrance is very long lasting. I get around 8 to 10 hours on my skin with above average projection in the first couple hours. I'll say projection is about 2 arm lengths, and even after those couple hours, when the fragrance sits closer to the skin, it'll continue projecting for the entire lifetime it remains on your skin. So it's a really good performer and an amazing scent. So if you haven't yet, please give it a try. Parisian Musk by Atelier Materie. So the next transitional fragrance I have on my list today is Royal Earth by The Harmonist. I love everything from this house. Their fragrances are incredible fragrances and super long lasting. Spoiler alert, yes, it's very long lasting. This is the queen when it comes to iris. I absolutely love iris and orris. This is one of the best iris fragrances I've ever tried. It's absolutely stunning. It's very creamy, slightly lipsticky. It smells very luxurious. I always say this is the queen when it comes to iris. It smells very luxurious. Although this is a floral fragrance, I recommended this perfume to people who are not into florals and they fell so hard for it that they purchase a full bottle. This perfume is different from your typical floral scent, even different from the typical iris forward fragrances. It has a very beautiful, sweet creaminess. It is a very creamy fragrance. I would say pretty buttery. It has carrot seeds. 𝗓𝐸𝐴 is a note that it's used in perfumery to sub for 𝗬𝗟𝗟. The 𝗬𝗟𝗟, which is the root of the iris, it's extremely expensive, and it's very buttery, very creamy, extremely creamy and buttery. And I think this is what 𝗓𝐸𝗴 are mimicking here. This perfume is extremely creamy. I remember the first time, without knowing the notes, the first time I smelled this fragrance, I thought it had 𝗬𝗟𝗟 front and center. It's very prominent, and it's so buttery, so velvety that I thought it was 𝗬𝗟𝗟. But no, it has iris and 𝗓𝐸𝗴 among other beautiful notes like angelica, heliotrope, neroli, and it has a very beautiful creamy woodsy base with sandalwood, tonka, and vetiver. Truly stunning perfume. By the way, I heard it's been discontinued. If you like this type of scent profile, if you like 𝗬𝗟𝗟, if you like iris, I highly encourage you to try it. And if you find a bottle online for a good price, snag yours before it's gone, because you know how it rolls. Once fragrances are discontinued, prices go up and sometimes are really crazy. And in this particular case, the fragrance is so beautiful if you happen to like this type of scent profile, that I would hate for that to happen. So I hope the rumors aren't true, but just in case, if you get a chance, get yours. And circling back to what I just said, that I have recommended this fragrance to people who are not into florals and they loved it. I think what makes this fragrance stand out and completely detached from the typical floral fragrance is the creaminess, because the creaminess here comes more from the sandalwood and the 𝗓𝐸𝗴 rather than from indolic flowers. And when many people say they hate florals, in my experience, the type of florals they are referring to are the typical indolic, headache-inducing, sometimes very heady type of fragrances, and those that are more aldehydic. This detaches completely from that. It's very woodsy, especially in the dry down. I think it's a masterpiece in its own right, and if you get a chance, please at least give it a try. It's definitely worth trying. And this was Royal Earth by the Harvest. The next transitional fragrance I want to share with you is 𝗎𝗑 by Mind Games. This is a powerhouse. This is a powerhouse, and I'm not even exaggerating. So this is one of the most elegant, grown-up, fruity fragrances you can find on the market. It's very bright, very juicy, very fruity, but this is not the type of fruity fragrance we are used to. The market is constantly being bombarded by those new releases that oftentimes are either gourmand or fruity. And in the fruity category in particular, to me, the wow factor is lacking. I love fruity fragrances when they are well done. And every time there's a new fruity release, I always want to try it. But unfortunately, for the most part, most fruity fragrances I have smelled in the last year or so lack the wow factor. They lack depth, they lack presence, and many of them smell very juvenile, almost borderline body mist. Nothing wrong with body mist. I have a lot of body mist at home, but when I want a body mist, I go for body mist. When I want a perfume, a fruity perfume, I want my fruity perfume to capture and represent what I paid for. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that I found those key factors in this fragrance. It's absolutely stunning. What I like about 𝗎𝗑 is that, yes, it's sweet, but it has a very present tartness, which is not for everyone. Some people don't like tart fragrances. Don't get me wrong, this is not tart. I think the tartness here is very important. Otherwise, it could be a cloying scent. And what the tartness does is balance that possibly excessive sweetness. Together with this tartness, I also picked something syrupy, and I think this is coming from the pomegranate note, which is in the top notes. This is by no means a traditional fruity fragrance. As I was saying, this is very unique. It also has patchouli and it has leather, a very unique combination that we typically don't see in fruity fragrances. You have to enjoy fruity fragrances first and foremost. If you don't like fruity fragrances, don't even try this one. However, if you do like fruity perfumes with a twist, a fruity fragrance that doesn't smell like anything else on the market, I think 𝗎𝗑 is a must try. It smells super luxurious. It smells super expensive. This is not a cheap fragrance, but it's worth every single penny. It's incredibly strong and long lasting. I get at least 10 hours on my skin, and that's not even overspraying. Definitely has above average projection. It's very complex with lots of facets. I think this is a masterpiece. I highly encourage you to try 𝗎𝗑 by Mind Games. The next transitional fragrance I have on my list today is Golden Power by the House of Oud. Unfortunately, I don't have a full bottle just yet, but I'm gonna buy it for sure because I absolutely love it. It's so good. It's so good. This is a sweet, spicy, woodsy scent, very rich, very intoxicating. It has a very prominent cinnamon note. Now the cinnamon here is not done in a gourmand way. It doesn't smell like cinnamon rolls, but it does have that sweet spiciness that makes the fragrance incredibly addictive and intoxicating, as I was saying. It's a very, very beautiful scent. I think this is a feminine fragrance. It could be unisex, but it's definitely feminine leaning. The cinnamon here reminds me a lot of the cinnamon note in Bouquet Ideal by 𝗬𝗏. I think these two fragrances share that very prominent cinnamon note in the opening that makes both of them very sensual, very deep, and very luscious. So the opening, it's kind of sweet, spicy. Then we have a lot of woodsy notes in the heart, including sandalwood and cedar. Then we have a magical dry down, which is my favorite part. We have musk, vanilla, coumarin. Coumarin is usually sweet, it's slightly smoky, slightly spicy, slightly warm, cozy. Coumarin kind of complements the cinnamon note. To me, they are kind of sister notes. It's a really, really delicious fragrance. Hardly ever see anyone talking about this perfume. I don't know why it's so underrated. I think it smells much better than most of the hyped ones from this house. I mean, the House of Oud has incredible perfumes. I haven't tried one that I don't like, but I have to tell you, Golden Power to me is my number one. And compared to the most hyped ones that are getting all the love, this one is no less, for sure. I think, as I was saying, it smells even better. It's a nighttime type of scent, and during the winter, I already went through another full sample last year, and it smells divine. During the winter, especially cold winter nights, this perfume smells absolutely incredible. It lasts about 8 to 10 hours on my skin with a moderate projection and a very, very beautiful and spicy sweet sillage. And the last one for today, now that the sun is almost gone, I'm sorry for the lighting. I hope it doesn't bother you. You will see a change in the lighting, but it's because I'm filming with natural light and a ring light in front of me, but the natural light is not cooperating right now. So anyway, moving forward, the last one for today is Perfume du Matin by Fragrance du Bois. I think this one is one of my top 3 from the house. It's probably the most underrated fragrance from Fragrance du Bois. Again, it's one of those fragrances that I hardly ever see anyone talking about. It doesn't get the love it deserves, but let me tell you, this is my second bottle and I've recommended this perfume to so many people. I don't know one that didn't like it. And I know that for a fact because people get back to me through Instagram. By the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I would love to have you as a follower. You can find me at @GB_fragrances. And I also share fragrance related content, but it's not a copy paste of what you see here on YouTube. So I would love to see you there as well. But as I was saying, I get a lot of DMs through Instagram and also email. And when people ask me for recommendations based on their lifestyle and the type of fragrances they tend to gravitate towards, I make recommendations. And this is one of those fragrances that I have recommended back to back. Every single person reported back and they said they absolutely love it. Love it. And it's a very unique fragrance as well. It's citrusy, it's fresh. It has a beautiful fruity floral core with peach, plum, peony, jasmine, and it dries down and settles into a very beautiful woodsy musky base. I love it. It's incredibly long lasting. You will never imagine how long this fragrance lasts when you smell it. When you smell it, you might think this fragrance won't get past 2 hours. Wrong. I get around 8 hours on my skin without overspraying. Although I love to overspray this fragrance because it's very soft, it's very sheer, it's very translucent. It's completely unisex, completely inoffensive. No matter how much you overspray, you will never bother anyone. It's very, very soft. However, it has a very beautiful presence. People notice it. It's not that it's soft and you will go unnoticed. It's not like that. This fragrance gets attention. However, it's not loud. Actually, I would put this fragrance in the quiet luxury category because it smells very expensive, very sophisticated, very chic, effortless chic. but it's quiet, it's soft. So this is quiet luxury at its best. It's very calming, very fresh, very dewy. I always say, this is not the first time I review this fragrance, and every time I say and I stick to the same because this is how it feels to me. This perfume reminds me of dewy grass early in the morning. It's so invigorating, so energizing, refreshing. This summer I pick more of the fruity notes, while in winter or in colder weather it becomes more crystalline, more glassy, crispier. Absolutely beautiful. It's also slightly green, but fresh green, not herbaceous or vegetal. This fragrance doesn't smell vegetal, so don't worry about that, because I know that herbaceous fragrances for some people are a turnoff because they lean more masculine. They are borderline fougères. Fougère fragrances are oftentimes herbaceous and very aromatic. So this is more grassy, as I was saying. It's neither vegetal nor herbaceous. However, it does have a green, a very subtle green component that I associate more with grass rather than with aromatic nuances. It's very elegant, very long lasting, very chic, as I was saying, and it's a perfect transitional fragrance. And this was Perfumes du Matin by Fragrance du Bois. So this was today's video. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. I hope you enjoy my content, and if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, I'll be very grateful if you subscribe to my channel, and please don't forget to hit the bell icon so you won't miss my upcoming videos. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.